Well, it's springtime in Tennessee, which means I'm going to engage in one of my favorite activities, some good old porch picking. Hey there kids, and welcome to a special outdoorsy episode of Weekend Wankshop. Here's your good pal, Uncle Ben. Now I might not know much about fancy cars or fancy restaurants, but I can tell you that one of the best places in the world to be is sitting on your back porch here in the great state of Tennessee doing some picking in the springtime. Plus, practicing your hot licks on the good old flat top here is the perfect proving ground to see if your playing can hold water.
Yellow Jackets.
This week's lick is a cool bluegrass lick that I made up in the key of G that you could play in your next bluegrass jam and hootenanny, or you could even pick this thing out on a Telecaster and make it work in sort of a country music context too. So, it's a versatile and cool lick. But before we dig into it, let's hear it again at Porch Dad speed. And as always, you can find a full tab for this week's lick on my Instagram page. Be sure to head over to BenEllerGuitars on Instagram, find the tab for this week's lick, and learn how to play it, and upload a video of yourself playing through it along with the hashtag Weekend Wankshop. And yes, those are Christmas lights I have up on my railing back here. It looks nice during the nighttime when I'm letting the dogs out. Do you want to fight about it? So this lick is based around the G blues scale, and it'd be played over a G major kind of chord. This is just one of those kind of weird tonalities that you find a lot in bluegrass and country music. The use of a major chord with a minor, blues scale over on top of it. Not something that you see in a lot of typical harmony, but this is just sort of a trademark of that style. This lick will also show you a cool way that you can get out of the typical minor pentatonic box position and hop down to the next position and find a cool little extension here on the top couple of strings. This is something that I'd never really found in rock players playing and licks and stuff. It's something that you'll see more in guys like Tony Rice and other bluegrass pickers. So to begin with, what I'm doing here is I'm starting off on the first fret on the high E. That's an F note, and I'm hammering in to the third fret on the high E. That's a G note, again the root note of the chord. Note targeting is a really important thing in this style of music. You're always trying to nail a note that's in the chord, especially the root. So what I'm doing here is I start off on the first fret and I hammer into the third, and then what I'm going to do is to pick that note, and that's just going down, up, down, up, down, up. That's 6 notes total, but to me I'm really feeling it as 3 beats worth of downstrokes. 1, 2, 3. Kind of counting those downstrokes to help keep myself on beat there and not lose track of where I am in the measure. After that, you're going to do another downstroke, and this time pull back off to the first fret. So basically what we have so far is 1, 2, 3, 4, and on that fourth downstroke there's where I pulled off to the first fret. So after you pull off, we're going to have this goofy little chromatic lick right here. Now again, this little extension off of the good old G blues box scale right here, these notes you're playing, this might seem like kind of a funky little box, and it's like, how did I end up here? Well, when you play this, it's exactly like you're in the position, the normal blues position, and you're going like this. It's the exact same notes, just played in sort of a different fashion. Again, a cool little annex you can add on to any blues scale position. So anyway, coming off of that pull off, I'm going to play the third fret B, back to the first fret high E, and then on the B string I'm going to do this little 3-note descending thing. Third fret, second fret, first fret, which is D and D flat and C. After this, walk back up what you just played, so up 2 and 3 on the B. So that was first fret high E. Then you're going to walk down those chromatic notes again on the B, 3, 2, 1. So again, one more time to backtrack here. So after that last little walk down on the B string, what we're going to do here is we're going to play the third fret on the G, the minor third of the chord. Then we're going to play the C note here on the first fret B. And then we're going to do this little move. Now what I'm doing here is I'm sliding from the third fret G to the fourth fret G, and then hitting the open G. If you're kind of looking at how this fits into the harmony against a G chord, you're playing the minor third, then the major third. And again, this is an absolute hallmark of bluegrass and country guitar playing styles, and blues a little bit too. They love to use that minor third and then bring it right back up to a major third. That's just one of those iconic sounds from that genre. So we're going to play that 3rd fret G sliding to 4, open G, and then here on the D string I'm going to do this little move. 3rd fret on the D, a minor 7 of the chord, pulling off to open D, and then just hit the open G string, again the root note of the chord. Let's recap here and break this into a couple of sections here, because that's a lot of notes. The first part started off with our hammer on into our root note of G. After this we're going to do our pull off back to the F note, 3rd fret B, 1st fret high E, then the walking up and walking down the B part. So I'll walk down the B, walk back up, 1st high E, walk down the B again. After this we get to the section where we hit the 3rd fret G, 1st fret B, and then we're going to do that little slide lick on the G, 3rd fret to 4th fret, open, and then on the D string we're going to play the 3rd fret, pulling off to open, and then hitting that open G one more time. I'll give you a quick tip about picking through licks like this too, because it's really important to have all the right accents in all the right places whenever you're playing bluegrass stuff like this. Most of these bluegrass players, I'm not going to say all of them, but most of them are adamant on alternate picking. Not necessarily just for the technical merit of it, but it's more for a time feel kind of thing. Whenever you watch a lot of these bluegrass players play, you could put it on mute and just watch their right hand even as they're picking through really intense stuff, and you'd see it looks just like this. And you could even keep time just by watching that hand going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, even at ludicrous, ridiculous speeds. And you kind of have to play this way. Whenever you're playing some of these bluegrass tunes at like 200 BPM, if you're trying to economy pick through some of that stuff and doing a really stoppy, starty, down, up, down, 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 up, 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 up kind of thing, it's really hard to keep time. Whereas if your hand was just always in motion, like this right here, it's a lot easier to keep in time. A good way to practice this is to really exaggerate the picking. So whereas my picking motion usually comes from my wrist and it's very small and everything, to practice getting the time feel here, really swing your whole arm into it. It's okay if it's a little slop and you tack some of those extra strings. You're just looking to get the feel of always being in motion like this. See how that whole time you could have just tapped your foot or clapped your hands just to watching my hand move like this. That's really the key to a lot of this bluegrass picking stuff. So there you go, guys, a sick lick that's perfect to play in the great outdoors or in your homes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, as well as follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BenEllerGuitars. Also, if you're interested in booking some one-on-one Skype lessons with me where I'll be inside instead of on the porch, drop me an email, BenEllerGuitars@gmail.com, and we'll talk about rates and times and all that other good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for another cool lick next week. Cheers, guys.